And Ollie told you about my betrayal. Yes, I betrayed my best friend. But what if everything was completely not like that? I'm not very sociable in life, and I really get along with people. So the appearance of Ollie in my life was a real fairy tale for me. I always wanted to live like in books, so that there was someone to sleep with in pajamas, go shopping, and discuss boys. There were practically no girls around me, only classmates, but they were interested in cosmetics, fashion, and all that. I liked art more, and to be honest, the girls didn't really want to take me to their companies. And then the parents were set to another city, to the new office of their company, and we moved. And I decided that this was my chance to find a friend. And I met Ollie, and then kept her as the last hope. Probably it's not too nice of me to impose myself like I did, but I felt 14 years of loneliness. And Ollie was not against friendship. She also seemed to have communication problems, so very quickly we became pretty close. And all that I dreamed about came true. And spending the nights and laughing at breaks and discussing the boys. Boys, if I only knew that my acquaintance with the handsome Dan would turn into a tragedy for our friendship. Ollie fell in love, and all the time she spoke only about Dan and how wonderful he was. And it so happened that my parents just worked with his parents, and therefore they were often guests in our house. Beloved by adults, play together for the kids of all ages introduced Dan and me. No, we were not friends, and did not even communicate, only some general phrases, in the same choir. We were stably pretending not knowing each other at all, although I'm not sure whose initiative was that one. And I even left alone in my room, while my parents resolved their issues in the living room. They really just drank and chatted, and didn't especially communicate. There was simply nothing to talk about. And of course, when Ollie fell in love, I decided to help my best friend. Why did I call Dan to talk? I wanted, well, to ask him to take a walk with Ollie or something. Everything turned out very well. Ollie lingered on her classes that day, and I decided to use my free time to talk with Dan. I called him to a stop. There simply is takeaway coffee, quite tasty, and a square with benches, and for a long time I tried to figure out which side I should approach. I guess it's my fault that I started the conversation wrong. I began to tell him about the fact that there is one girl in school who really likes him, and something else about the first love and chance that everyone needs to be given. I guess I was too convincing in my story, or simply Dan misunderstood me. But suddenly, without even hearing what I had to say, Dan began to confess his love to me. And it turned out that he was in love with me all those 2 years that we've known each other. Allegedly, he immediately liked me with my silence and gloomy appearance, and then finally subdued when I came to the choir and sang something about love. And Dan is very glad that our feelings are mutual. You see, I was so confused at that moment that I didn't really think at all how we looked from the outside, with the holding hands and dreamy expression on Dan's face. Of course, I immediately said that my whole story was not about me at all, but about my friend. And to me, I didn't care about him. But of course, Dan did not believe, and began to say that we should try, like I myself said about the fact that everyone who is in love should give it a chance, which means I perfectly understand his feelings. I was babbling something about Ollie, trying to convince him that he was mistaken, but for some reason I never pulled out my hand. And then I saw Ollie, and the smile on her face gave way to a terrible grimace. We went to the museum in the previous school, and there were ritual posthumous masks of people. Here, Ollie's face was practically the same. Honestly, I was scared, but I was not afraid for myself. I was sure she would not do anything bad to me, but for herself. I was afraid that she would do something with herself, and then immediately push Dan away and ran after Ollie. But she refused to talk to me. She didn't answer the phone. She didn't leave the room when I personally went to her house. And at school, she significantly ignored me. How I hated Dan! Because of his impenetrable stupidity, and mine too, why hide, I lost the best and only one friend. And most of all, I wanted not even to make peace, but to explain to Ollie that I had never betrayed our friendship. Ollie and I didn't communicate anymore, but I still hope I'll have the chance to